If you're hearing this in your Rolls Royce, then Donald Trump's tax plan is for you.
You're rich as hell. We're going to give you a tax cut?
But for everyone else, there's Kamala Harris's plan.
Under my plan, more than 100 million Americans will get a tax cut.
Because that guy in the Ferrari doesn't need another break. But Kamala Harris knows you sure could use one. Paid for by FFPAC, ffpac.org. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee.
Ryan Reynolds here for, I guess, my 100th Mint commercial. No, don't. I mean, honestly, when I started this, I thought I only have to do like 4 of these. I mean, it's unlimited premium wireless for $15 a month. How are there still people paying 2 or 3 times that much? I'm sorry, I shouldn't be victim blaming here. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/save. Whenever you're ready.
$45 upfront payment equivalent to $15 per month. New customers on first 3-month plan only. Taxes and fees extra. Speed slower above 40 gigabytes. See details.
Good afternoon, guys, and welcome to the podcast today. I've got a very special guest for you, Steve Wagner. He is a certified financial planner. He's also the CEO of Integrity Wealth Advisors. He's doing amazing work, and he's committed to helping clients achieve financial independence, but most importantly, in a honest manner, as well as a cost-effective, and help clients not achieve financial, but also time, location, and emotional freedom. So I'm really happy to have him on and discuss the amazing work that he's doing. So Steve, welcome.
Thank you for having me, Dr. Lou. It's good to be here.
Yeah. I love going by first name basis. And
Chris, thanks for having me, Chris. Happy to be here.
Yeah, really happy to have you on. So start off by introducing yourself and we'll dive right into the conversation.
Thank you. Yeah, as you mentioned, I'm Steve Wagner, CEO of Integrity Wealth Advisors. I've been in business for over 30 years, helping individuals, small business owners, other entrepreneurs plan and build assets. And I love your concept. Everybody wants financial freedom, but there's a lot of people out there that have a lot of money, but they're in prison emotionally and in so many other ways. And we really help people build confidence and awareness of the other areas of life that are very important. So that's super important to us. One other thing, too, that we've done in that regard is I recently acquired the Certified Exit Planning Advisor designation. And what that is, SEPA for short. It's just special expertise. And I've owned a business for all these decades, so I've lived it. And so we're able to help people that own a business prepare for that next chapter, plan to get that business in a position where it can be sold. In other words, somebody else on the outside who wants to buy this business. But then also beyond that, help them plan for the next chapter. What are they going to do with the rest of their life? That's super important to us. That's our business in a nutshell.
I really love that. And like I said, there's been quite a few financial advisors in there. What's really interesting is they have their own particular area of niche, much like doctors. And so what initially drew you to the financial planning and wealth management industry?
I love to help people. It's been my upbringing from my great mom and dad. And, helping people was central in their lives. And I gravitated to the financial side of things at a very young age. And so I found that was the niche that I enjoyed. It was interesting to me. And that's why I pursued it. And I'm glad I.
And a really great mentor said, you can use the resources to help others. And what is your core investment philosophy at IWA Investment Wealth Advisors, Integrity Wealth Advisors, and how has it evolved in response to we've got a really dynamic, volatile economic landscape?
Yeah, fabulous questions. Everything with regard to like a core investment philosophy really does revolve around how much is enough. So how much does this couple need to live comfortably today and reasonably for the rest of their lives? And then have something to pass on to the next generation. We find that's the goal of most people. They want to accumulate, then they want to enjoy, but they also want to pass on a legacy. And so our core investment philosophy revolves around, obviously, how hard does your money have to work for you? Different people have different amounts of assets and different goals. Some folks, they got to be all in. They've got to be all in the market, whether that be real estate or stocks. Other people have enough. They could go a much more passive route, much more low risk route. So our core investment philosophy centers around the answer to the question, how much is enough? And we go from there.
Yeah, I really love that because there was a recent book that I read. It was called Die with Zero. And it's essentially because our way of thinking is like you have to have a certain net worth or a certain amount. Of course, you have to have a certain base case, but everybody's spending and needs different. So you place a strong emphasis on fiduciary responsibility. And how do you build trust with new clients, and what do you think sets you apart from other firms in handling client relationships?
It's interesting. I was at a seminar, several years ago, and the instructor, who was a professor, asked the question, why do clients come to work for you? How is it that you get new clients? And of course, everybody, myself included, would raise their hand and say, because they trust us, or it's because we're really good at what we do. And the answer to that is that's not the reason, because trust is built through time. And only time will demonstrate whether any professional, whether it be a doctor or a financial advisor, is competent and at the top of their game, which we feel we are, and we certainly are trustworthy, that's for sure. But what was really interesting is, to answer your question, we try to build that initial meeting, that introductory session, where we're wanting to get to know that client. We don't want to know how much money. We want to know about their family. We want to know where they came from. We want to know what their personal goals are. We want to know what some of their accomplishments have been in life and some of their failures in life. That helps us get to know them on a more intimate basis. And guess what? That opens the door to, hey, I like this guy or I like this gal. And when people like you, they want to do business with you. And then, of course, that opens the door to trust. That's the initial entryway, so to speak, to that area where you begin to build trust, because you're being so honest and open with people and wanting to get to know them, as opposed to just talking about me, which is pretty boring. So that's how we do it, Chris. And it seems to have worked. And again, it results in really strong client relationships.
Yeah, most people I talk to it's a relationship, and it's a trust business, and people do business with know and trust. And someone listening to this, like a doctor, lawyer, and they will need a wealth advisor or wealth management. What does the initial consultation process look like at IWA, and how do you tailor your advice to meet individual needs? How do you personalize everything?
Sure. So again, to go back, it starts with that initial conversation where we get to know them on a personal level. That helps us understand to the nonverbal side. So we may hear a person say, hey, I want to be aggressive, but everything else about their life is conservative. So that helps us then ultimately, if that individual becomes a client, that helps us tailor an investment program or portfolio that will truly allow them some of that emotional freedom right now. Because as Chris, the market's up and down and all around, and there are people that can handle that. There are also people that don't want to handle that, or that truly can't handle that. And that's where it is. It's that beginning interview where we get to know them personally. And then through our expertise and wisdom and counsel, we're able to figure out what is really going to make them happy and confident and proud to be a client of IWA. Obviously, separate from that, the mechanics of it, we always get all of the data ultimately. Where are your assets? How do you own your business? If you're an entrepreneur or a sole proprietor, what are your goals? How many children do you have? How much do you need to live on? All that sort of stuff. That all gets input into a plan that helps us run out over time in a variety of scenarios, whether they can retire young or if they got to work until 65 or whatever the case may be.
Interesting. And delving a little bit deeper, is majority of yours, is a lot of your clients, are they looking for growth? Are they looking for capital preservation? Are they looking to save on taxes or estate planning? Give a broad overview of what the needs are.
Yeah, all of the above. But although there are different focuses at different periods of life, with a lot of my clients are in their 60s, 70s, and 80s at businesses. And so their number one goal is, hey, look, I built this. I want to keep it. And I don't want to pay any taxes that I don't need to pay. And I want to make sure from an estate planning standpoint that when I go, the people that I really want to benefit from this the money in the best possible way. And that's estate planning in a nutshell. And that's a lot of my clients because they are getting older. And so they already accumulated and they have these specific goals. Our clients that we enjoy receiving, we love clients of all age categories. I just love talking to young entrepreneurs because what an opportunity they have to absolutely educate them on the privilege of being able to invest in the broad area of innovative parts of the stock market, biotechnology, and some of the other technologies that we're seeing around us, including artificial intelligence and other areas, are just getting started. So for those folks, we really try to educate them on the history of the market. And yeah, there's going to be wars and there's going to be ups and downs in the market. And there's going to be times when, you're going to hear your neighbor say, this time is different. The world is coming to an end and all that other stuff. We really help educate them to just ignore all that stuff, be fully invested, because that's how you're truly going to build wealth as a young individual. So for different age groups, circumstances, asset levels, investments need to be done according to those.
Yeah, it's so important to get started early, start saving so that money can compound and grow. What was really interesting because you mentioned the older cohort, and you also mentioned the younger, and you mentioned technology. And one question I have for you is because there's what are you getting a lot of questions? I'm just trying to get a pulse. Like I know some of the institutions and like the pensions and endowments, they're getting questions about novel digital assets and with this new ETF. And of course, this is not financial advice, but I'm just trying to get a pulse if you're getting those types of questions.
Absolutely. Particularly from the younger folks. You think about people of my generation, I'm in my mid 60s now. People from our generation were brought up, if you wanted to find a store of value, if you wanted to put money somewhere where it would be protected from inflation and government upheavals and all that other stuff, you buy gold. All right. Gold is considered a store of value for my generation. Guess what? For the younger generation, gold is not looked at as a store of value. It's just a yellow heavy metal. What the younger generation look at are these cryptocurrencies, particularly Bitcoin. And again, we're not recommending anything here. We're just simply educating on the way that society has evolved and the way they begin to look at things. And so because Bitcoin is similar to gold and that it's hard to find, gold, you got to physically mine it in the earth. Bitcoin, there's only so many of them out there and it's very hard and very expensive to mine. So younger folks have the view that Bitcoin now is that, I guess you could call it digital gold or digital store of value. So it's very interesting, the world that we live in. And I would simply go even further than that, Chris. The other technologies, the DNA, the CRISPR technology that then is, you've got all these companies out there racing to develop things that are going to cure disease. They're going to help people, even in my generation, live a lot longer, and particularly younger people who are in their 20s, 30s, and 40s, to live beyond their wildest dreams. And of course, that comes with it a whole different set of problems, good problems, but problems such as the greater need to accumulate money here and invest it wisely, because if you're going to live a lot longer, you've got to have that outpace inflation and to keep up with a good standard of living.
Yeah, it's really interesting. And so when your clients come to you for wealth management, what are some common misconceptions or challenges that you face, and how do you address those?
Yeah. I think one of the biggest common misconceptions is still, regardless of age category, is they think that they can lose all their money in the market. Obviously, if you buy a bad stock, you can lose all your money. Or if you invest in a bad piece of real estate, you lose all your money. But if you invest in a basket of high quality stocks or even mid-sized companies that are, as I said before, engaging in some of these exciting new technologies, yeah, you're going to have a wild ride like you're at Magic Mountain or Disneyland on a fast ride, a roller coaster, so to speak. But you're going to end up making a magnificent compound rate of return over time. I think that's one of the biggest misconceptions, is that somehow this time is different. And that's more psychological. That's behavioral finance more than it is reality. And that's our job as financial advisors, is to walk people through that door and over that shaky bridge in their mind to get them to the other side where everything is safe, clear, and clean and happy. I'd like to also say, if I may, Chris, I think there's a concept out there that both older and younger investors should really latch onto, and that's the Roth IRA. Your audience may or may not be familiar with it, but the Roth IRA has been around for a couple of decades now, a few decades actually, and it is the opportunity to invest in something on a tax-deferred basis, non-deductible upfront, but tax-deferred while you own it, and then more importantly, tax-free when you get out there post 60, when you're pulling money out. And also when you pass and it goes on to the future generations, it also passes tax-free to them as well. It is probably the single most important vehicle that I believe your listeners should be, latching onto. I believe, as you may, Chris, that, because of our federal deficits and other budgetary issues, that the government down the road is going to look to raise taxes. And they're also going to look, maybe possibly B, to limit or eliminate future Roth provisions. Historically, when Congress has done something like that, they have protected anybody that already owns it. So I would really urge your clientele out there, all you listeners out there, to contact your financial advisor, educate yourself about the Roth IRA. You can place just about anything in a Roth IRA. It could be real estate, it can be stocks, it can be bonds, whatever your favorite investment asset is. All that growth will be tax deferred, and anytime you pull money out will be tax exempt, which is a beautiful thing. If the fears of a lot of economists come to fruition, that tax rates will be a lot higher 10, 20, 30 years from now.
Yeah, and it will be really interesting because I know there was a recent proposal that they want to tax unrealized gains.
End of capitalism. If that happens. It's not going to happen. I can assure you, if that happens, we'll just turn it into a socialist organization. And I don't think anybody really wants that. And for your medical practitioners out there and other higher income, there are limits on what you can place into a Roth IRA. We have Roth alternatives that essentially accomplish the same thing for very high income affluent individuals out there, such as obviously members of your audience.
Yeah. I know we're coming to the end. It's been really engaging conversation. One thing is you have a passion for golf and travel, and how do these interests influence your perspective on your personal life and also IWA, and what are some of the goals you have for IWA over the next few years?
Absolutely. That's a really good way to put this. We have a slogan here at IWA. It's dream, plan, and enjoy. Okay. And I think that sums it up. People have to dream. If you just stop at the dream, generally speaking, you never wind up accomplishing that dream or enjoying that dream. It just is a dream. So where our focus is, look, we're going to take your dream and we're going to put it to fruition. We're going to put it through the meat grinder, so to speak. We're going to chop it up and we're going to show you how to get to where you're really able to enjoy life. Now, I love that you brought up golf. I'm a big golfer. People know that. Not a good golfer. Enjoying golf a whole heck of a lot, as a lot of people do. It's such an enjoyable thing to go out there in nature, hit the ball, be with friends, hit a good shot, maybe sink a putt here or there, and then go have a beer with your buddies. That's what it's all about. For me, that's my enjoy. For others, it might be something else. And so whatever that something else is, you can get there. You can accomplish it. You do need help from the right kinds of professionals. And that's where we feel here at IWA that we can help. Financial advisor, the CFP, he or she is the quarterback of your financial team. But a good quarterback, knows when to throw to the wide receiver or hand up to the running back. He knows how to read the defense. And so we refer out to really good professionals, lawyers, CPAs, and other financial professionals that can help you get, as a team, to get you to that planning stage to where you're really enjoying life, not just down the road when you're retiring. Because one of our big things is, look, you can enjoy life now. If you have the proper budget, the proper mindset, the proper kinds of investments, there's every reason for you to enjoy life now. So let me answer the last part of your question. What is the future of IWA? I'm one of those guys that believes that he's going to live to be 110. Okay. I believe in this technology. I believe in exercise and eating right, walking, and all that other stuff. So I'm going to be around a long time, but I recognize that every day is uncertain. So we do have a succession plan. We've got a great team of advisors here. IWA, as far as I'm concerned, is going to be around for forever. And we're certainly happy to share what we do with your listeners and anybody who's interested in wanting to dream, plan, and then enjoy their accomplishments in their lives.
Wonderful conversation. How can people find out more about you, connect with you, and check out IWA and, schedule a call or a consultation?
Yeah. So our address is www.iw.com. They can reach me at Steve, STEVE, at iwaplan.com. Our office number here is 805-339-0760. And I'm on LinkedIn and Twitter, so they can look for me there as well. And as I said, we've got a fantastic team. It's not just me. We've got an amazing team of advisors and staff that are able and ready to help your audience and anyone with their goals. So we look forward to doing that. Chris, thank you so much for having me on today. It was enjoyable.
Yeah, I really enjoyed talking with you and just sharing good conversation out to the audience. And thanks so much for coming on and keep up the great work.
It's our pleasure. Thank you. You as well, my friend.